What's your name and what's your game?
My name is Ty Taylor, and my game is Tumblestone.
Is Tumblestone done?
Tumblestone's done. It's out right now on Steam and consoles.
How long did Tumblestone take to make?
It took 2.5 years between a team of 3 engineers and an artist.
What would be the main thing you would change if you were to do it all again? Minus like obvious time travel, like foresight and stuff like that.
Sure. I think we did some pretty weird experimental things with how we priced the game and how we kind of distributed it. Tumblestone is $25, and it's a 2D match 3 game. I say that not to compare it to anything else like Candy Crush or something like that, but it's worth $25 in my opinion. We have a lot of users on Steam that say it's worth like $40, and they'd be happy to pay for that. But it's a perception problem. When you are a more hardcore gamer on Steam or on a console, you'll see a 2D match 3 game and be like, what is this doing charging $25? So,
and also, it's online too.
It is. It has online multiplayer,
which is something that's almost inferred to not have. Like in your competitors' field, all the hot local multiplayer games don't have online, or the online's bad. For most of them.
Exactly. And Tumblestone has a solid, stable online, and we do advertise that. We say that we have online multiplayer, but even still, like, people either assume it's not there, or if it is there, they don't understand the technical complexities or the cost it cost us to actually put that in the game. So.
And you have like a whole single-player campaign.
Yeah, it's about 40 hours, this single player. It's enormous.
Which is something I would not infer from 10 seconds of a Steam trailer. And
no, but we also do say that all over the features list as if people, actually read that. Most people don't read things.
Yeah, in general.
Which is fine, because we also say that in our trailers, but if they get to that part of the trailer, it's past 10 seconds in. So, I think what people do is they just look at the price, and they, rather than assuming, why is this game $25? Surely it's justified, and then scroll down to see that it has online multiplayer, that has a 40-hour campaign, that has a ton of procedurally generated content that won't ever get old. They just immediately assume the developers are out of touch and are mad by charging $25.
And I also imagine a lot of people have their price ranges per day almost, probably, of I'm in the mood for a $15 game for tonight.
That's probably true, but I don't know. It's just very interesting, because depending on the type of game, you have this kind of connotation for how much it should cost. So, for example, you see a big 3D first-person shooter AAA. Maybe it has a 12-hour campaign, and you say, it's that's worth $60 because that's what the standard is. But you see match 3, and then all of a sudden you associate it with free-to-play mobile games, and they're just like, why on earth is this $25?
Or even the puzzle fighters and trash panics in the previous generation of competitive puzzle battle games were of a $10, $15 era.
Well, depending on how far back you go, when there were cartridges on SNES, which is kind of where Tumblestone falls, Dr. Mario or Tetris Attack or any of those kind of games, those are AAA prices, because those are AAA of the time. And Tumblestone is a game that's I call it AAA because it is coming out on discs. You'll be able to go to Walmart or Best Buy and pick up Tumblestone.
Blu-rays?
Yeah, Blu-ray disc for PS4 and Wii U. So it'll be $25 there. The price is consistent everywhere.
Did you ever think, because you mentioned experimental pricing structures and stuff like that when I asked you about it, did you ever think about doing a break-off kind of $10 for the multiplayer, $10 for the single player, $5 for online?
And that's what we did, actually. And it turned out to be terribly confusing. We did $10 only for the multiplayer and $25 for the whole package. And we got a lot of people who just bought the multiplayer for $10 thinking it was the full game. Now, it said right above the buy button, Tumblestone Multiplayer Starter Pack. It had a description that says this only includes the multiplayer, you don't get the single player. And yet we had a ton of people buying this and leaving us negative reviews saying, this is a scam, I bought the full game and now they want an additional $15. I'm like, no.
Are there reviews for the whole app or each individual package?
It's for the whole game. Yeah, so no matter what SKU they bought, whatever version, whether it was the multiplayer starter pack or the full game, it all shows up the same in Steam reviews. but it's still, like, people were clearly very, very confused, even though we went out of our way to write in 3 or 4 different spots on the Steam page the difference and what the SKUs were all about. But
And I also imagine you probably you did some sort of focus group-esque test with this pricing structure.
We talked to people at PAX, and we were talking about, like, oh, how much is the game going to be? And so, like, if they wanted to have a conversation, we're like, we're thinking about doing this. And they said, oh, that's a great idea. When I was right in front of them at PAX having a conversation, I was like, the multiplayer is separate. You can buy that, or you can buy the full game. And once I can actually talk to someone in person and explain it, they say, that's an amazing idea. But when you go and launch it on the Steam page and try to communicate that to people, people are easily confused, it turns out. So it didn't work because of confusion. I still think the idea, if it were able to be fully, completely understood, is a good idea, but ultimately it was too confusing to actually work. So we ended up cutting it.
Cutting
the multiplayer starter pack. Now you can only just buy the full game.
Okay. Yeah. And is that, like, business-wise, how's that affected
Once we did that, we jumped up in sales about 30% on Steam.
And I bet reviews probably started going up higher.
Yeah.
Because there was less.
We haven't had anyone since then leave a negative review about the multiplayer starter pack because there hasn't been one there to have. So a couple people have even gone back and changed their review because we've cut it, because it's like, oh, okay, my one grievance with the game is no longer applicable. So did
you go through and let the people who reviewed that know? The old Ryan Clark technique?
Of course. It's a technique that works. You should, if someone has something negative about the game, if it's addressable and reasonable, you should say, hey, okay, I understand your complaints. Here's why we did it, and here's what the opposite would have done because we've tried it. Or no, we haven't tried it. Let me try what you're suggesting. Or
we're working on it.
We're working on it. And, just have a conversation with your community, especially if they're leaving a negative review. And about, I don't know, half the time or so, maybe a little less, they will either convert to positive or remove their review or something. It's just a kind of way for them to get your attention. Like, they're leaving a negative review. You need to kind of address that.
Speaking of reviews, has the recent review changed much?
It actually has, just because Tumblestone also has a feature where you can give a friend a Steam key that lets them play with you for free.
Just with you?
Or anyone who invites them, but, most likely.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So because the other person could have given them a key all the same. So anyone who invites them directly, they can play with. However, a lot of people come to the game because of that. So you were like, oh, I can, play with all of my friends, even though I'm the only one who bought a copy. This is something that was inspired by, Mario Kart on the DS, where you could, beam it to all your friends and you could all play together, even if one person had a copy. So you can basically do the same thing on Tumblestone. But that means a lot of people come to the game via a key activation and then upgrade through Steam. And what that means is, anyone who does that doesn't have their review properly counted because they didn't. They activated
redemption.
Yes, exactly. And so through the new review system, it doesn't actually count them as a formal Steam review
by default. But you could theoretically opt into those people.
Well, you can change the filters around, but who does that as a consumer? People just see the percentage and the number of reviews on the top right corner of the Steam page, and that's that. People don't drill down to see probably 3 times as many reviews come from keys on Tumblestone. So we did get bit by that pretty hard.
Yeah. So speaking of biting hard, what kind of sausage is the Sausage King?
He's an ambiguous sausage. It's up to the user imagination.
Oh, I guess you want to not offend your veggie friends.
Right. He could be a vegetarian sausage, although he isn't, because he's alive. He has a soul. And he's constantly asking people to eat him as redemption for his mistakes. He's very troubled in the mind.
But no confirmation on what's inside the lining.
No confirmation.
Has any local geeky bars reached out to you to do food-themed things for your lunch party?
I don't think the Sausage King has caught on so much that they want to theme Tumblestone sausage for lunch food.
Are you open to it?
If you're suggesting a sausage party for Tumblestone, that sounds...
No. I'm suggesting a restaurant have a sausage called the Sausage King.
I should talk to some restaurant, EXP in Vancouver probably would be all about having a sausage king.
Yeah, they reached out to us for some sort of launch party to try and do themed appetizers, but we were too busy making a game to actually organize that.
What would the darkest dungeon?
I don't know. They do a
food
bunch
be?
of dumb cocktails and smoky stuff.
Okay, it's not just like corpses.
Yeah. You could probably do like corpse sliders with like ground meat or veggie meat with like bones sticking out.
Exactly.
Maybe.
You got to pick through the meat and get the bones out of it. Yeah, that'd be on theme, on point.
On brand.
Yeah, on brand.
Are you always on brand?
Am I ever on brand? What is my brand? Apparently talking about sausage.
Talking about Tumblestone is definitely part of your brand.
Right, I guess so.
Confidently talking about Tumblestone is another part of your brand.
I do always wear these sweet Tumblestone chucks that I have. Like, this is my brand.
So are those like easy to come across?
Yeah, the Converse store in San Francisco can like custom print canvas. So I just went in one day during GDC. I'm like, I need Tumblestone shoes.
Yeah.
Just a grid of Tumblestones on my shoes. So I always wear these to conferences.
You just get one pair?
I did. Yeah, it's a lot of people wear their game shirt, which is fine. Like,
fine.
It's fine. You know, I see you're promoting your game. Good for you. But it seems very corporate. Seems very.
Well, I mean, last PAX, Microsoft was giving their employees custom shoes to wear during the conference.
Were they?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I should sue. The
some
copycats. I invented that. I should be the only one with the game shoes.
They weren't Converse though. I think they're shoes for comfort, not for like style.
I've worn Converse for probably 15 years now. I'm used to my feet having absolutely nothing to do with comfort. Like, my feet always hurt, but I'm used to it, so it just feels normal to me.
Keeps you in a good mood.
I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks right now.
I do that at conferences too if I want to get a little flashy with the sock. Because like, wear like a nice cushiony sock underneath and then put the dress sock over with. Because people aren't going to like measure my fucking ankle width to be like,
That's the first thing I do when I meet someone. It's like, you look like you have white ankles.
You look like you're wearing 2 socks.
Last time I saw you, Keir, your ankles looked about half a centimeter less wide.
Yeah, it normally doesn't get to that. My networking's in and out, so it's like, by the time they're looking at my ankles, I'm on to the next person.
Right.
So thank you for being on the question bus.
Thank you for having me on the question bus.
Is there anything else you want to plug?
Tumblestone Mobile is coming out next year, but it's a little early to plug it. Probably be out in about 6 months or so.
And if somebody wanted to know about that, what social media should they follow?
You can follow us on Facebook at Tumblestone Game on Facebook and on Twitter at Tumblestone Game.
Yeah, or they just want to hear what you have to say about Tumblestone.
Oh, my Twitter is I Make Indie Games.
Really?
It's an awesome Twitter name. I get that reaction a lot.
Yeah.
Like, is that really your Twitter? Yeah.
My first second best one I've heard during this.
What was the best one?
Art is dumb.
That's not true. Art is fine.
I just like the commitment of that.
Was it an artist? I hope it was an artist.
I think they do everything.
Except for art?
Well, I don't know.
Because that's just insulting. If you're not an artist, that's almost insulting. Like, just to say art is dumb. But if you're an artist, it's like self-mocking.
But it wasn't her first choice. It was like, her first choice was something along the lines of like, JRPGs are dumb.
That's just going to get you hate.
Yeah, like it wasn't. So the art is dumb is a much more like PC.
It is. Man, I wanted my Twitter to be like Ty, just like TY. How sweet would that have been? Just 2 letters.
If I do ever have kids, I'm definitely like squatting all the social medias and users.
You just give them like a really like weird name.
URLs before they're born, like before it's decided, so it's like they're locked in. Because that'd be nice, and it wouldn't cost that much in the grand scheme of how much it costs to raise.
That's actually a really good idea.
Getting their URL, like KeirMiron.com, got that.
Yeah.
Got it on Twitter.
You have a fairly unique name, I think it seems. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
What's the next show you're going to?
I have no idea. You mean like PAX or like a
concert?
I'm doing some
convention, like a home improvement convention or something. You gotta try and buy some like tiles for your house or something.
I'm going to MGF like next week. That's the Mobile Gaming Foundation, just to pimp out Tumblestone Mobile some more and get some business going with that. I say that with such disdain.
Start working on that App Store feature.
Pretty much.
It's pretty much the one thing you got to do, man.
Yeah, my job for the next 6 months is to romance Apple and Google and make them love Tumblestone and or me, and so we can get that feature. But after that's full indie, of course. So I always love Vancouver and being up there for full indie. It's a good excuse to come see my Vancouver friends. But that's about all I have planned. I'm trying to take it easy with conventions. Like, we're not really going out and doing PAX anymore, or anything at that scale. Not with Tumblestone, at least, just because it's out. People have played it. It's tiring to do that. I just want to kind of take it easy at these kind of things, like Steam Dev Days. Super laid back, just chatting with people. Not really here with any kind of agenda or objective, and it's really nice.